We've been talking a little bit about filters and how they impact our search for a life partner. Filters being, of course, that criteria that we create, that shopping list that we have that helps us to pinpoint, if you will, the correct person in our search from all the possible candidates for a life partner. So it's very natural for people to develop a filter and a shopping list. And let's continue to talk a little bit about how that impacts our search. You know, guys, we develop these filters. And again, I've talked about how some of us approach the search for a life partner with a very narrow filter. And that, of course, prevents sometimes us from meeting the right person because the filter being this narrow is kind of unrealistic, right? And so let's talk about why people create those filters and you know, what are the positives and I guess negatives, if you will, of having a filter that's not realistic or wide enough. So we create filters because we obviously want to have some control over our search. We have 40,000 profiles, 40,000 different women who have registered with us and asked us to help them meet somebody, and you certainly can't go through, you know, all of them or even 10% of them. And so it's natural that we apply a filter to that, so the ones that are just not going to be appropriate for us can go to the wayside and we can focus on the ones that we think are going to have long-term compatibility. That makes sense, right? And we also want to be proactive in our search for somebody because obviously if we're going to invest the amount of money you need to invest to be successful in international dating and marriage, we want that to be successful. We want to meet somebody who's attractive and very, very personable and very, very compatible. So we want to take as proactive an approach to our search as we can. And those are some of the reasons why we filter. Sometimes, though, it's important to understand, guys, that if our filter is too narrow or unrealistic, then we make ourselves more vulnerable to some of the scams that exist in international dating and marriage. So, look, guys, with any form of online personals, any form of online dating, whether domestic or international or whatever, you're going to have disingenuous people on both sides. You're going to have disingenuous men. You're going to have disingenuous women. You'll have less than sincere agencies that are out there. And that's certainly not something that's unique to us or our network. It's going to happen to anybody at any site at any time. You're going to run into somebody, if you do this long enough, who isn't exactly what they appear to be. And you have to be able to protect yourself against that. And one of the best ways to do that is to give yourself a reality check every so often about your filter or the people that you're trying to find really appropriate for you. What are some of the ways that we can do that? We can create a filter that is realistic based upon age. I've talked to thousands of women in this process in my 10 years of doing this, literally, guys. And I've asked them this question many times. How do you feel about age difference in your life partner? And what they'll come back to me with, you know, years at a time, thousands of miles apart, is I have no problem meeting somebody who's a little bit older than I am, but we have to be from the same generation. How do they define that? Again, 10, 12 years is ideal. 15 years of age difference is possible. Somewhere between 50 and 20 starts to get really gray, and if we're going beyond 20 years, then we really risk being just kind of lost on fantasy island out there. Now, again, there are exceptions. They are exceptional. We have to be really, really careful about that. Another criteria for a filter where we can be sometimes unrealistic is in children. So does the woman have a child? Am I ready to raise a child? Do I want to have a child? Am I beyond child rearing? I've already done that. I don't want to raise a child, but I want to meet women who are very young and still of childbearing age. That's not necessarily going to be a realistic approach. So I will meet gentlemen in this process who are in their 40s and 50s who want to meet women who are under 25 who don't want children. And I tell them very candidly, my friend, good luck with that. If we're going to look for women of childbearing age, we've got to be ready for that. It's just the only way to be realistic. And then finally, how about work, right? So here's an area that just becomes increasingly gray for guys. You know, but I'm strong, I'm secure financially. I don't need my life partner to work. I prefer that she doesn't work. I'd like us to travel the world and do things together. And again, all of that is negotiable, guys, but you're going to find women who are professional, who have, you know, relatively decent jobs, in other parts of the world, and when they come here, they're educated women. They want to get out, they want to work, they don't want to sit home and stare at the walls all day long. And again, if we're realistic, we're going to be open to that possibility that I may meet somebody who wants to continue her education, or I may meet somebody who wants to work in her profession or in some way. And again, if I'm going to be realistic, I need to support that, and that's all part of your filter, guys. It's all part of enabling you to meet that life partner in a steady, reliable way.
Check out our website at If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Then click on the notice bell to get notified every time we add something new.